Hello, Mzansi. It's August Girl. The Open Chat podcast made a video sincerely apologizing. They looked very remorseful. They said sorry after the host made very rude and hurtful comments about colored people. Government Deputy Minister Mapaseka said this was wrong and reminded people that freedom of speech does not mean you can say hurtful things. The PA got lawyers involved, threatened to protest, and demanded that the podcast must be removed. At the same time, Sansi, all social media posts came out showing Gayton McKenzie using the K word against black South Africans. Gayton McKenzie laughed off the criticism, saying people can't find any racist thing he's ever said. But many people think that he is a hypocrite because he was so angry about the podcast offensive remarks. So this is what Gayton McKenzie and the Open Chat podcast had to say. At the end of the video, Mzansi, please do not forget to like, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. Bye-bye.
They want us out of the GNU so that they can come in. So Mashaba, Malema, ons gaat sy Zana by die ballot box. Ons gaat meet by die ballot box. 2026, you look at Gayton. If God calls me home today, this party will still show you flames at the ballot box. So you're trying to distract me. I'm going to just continue with my work, but I'm going to have to post those two posts so you can see everything I've said. But they would not accept that because they want blood, but they're not going to get my blood. Imagine my godchild is black, my mom is black, my cousins are black, half my family is black, I'm half black, and you say I'm a racist. You're really mal mense, man. My kids was a black woman. What are they? I don't even know. The contradictions in color. You know, you look at us, we got China eyes. You get somebody that's black, black, black. Because have you seen how nice Mbisa is? How nice Mbisa is? But he's black. How some white colors have the worst hair. How me, look at me dark, but I've got blue eyes. I don't wear contact lenses. I don't wear contact lenses. So how can I be racist if against myself, against black people if I'm black? So I tried, is there anything here, I'm still going to stay on this live for 5 minutes. Is there anything that you wanted me explained?
This black versus colored thing that's happening now in the comment sections and on social media because of the stupid podcast, we're a bunch of lighties who have no education or factual basis for the statements that they have made, which were derogatory and defamatory, but not really racist, let's be honest. Okay, all of this happening because of that. Now, there's a bunch of hidden agendas coming out in comment sections where people that have always been racist on either side of the spectrum, black or colored, are now having the perfect opportunity to air their views. Now we have a bunch of politicians and political parties jumping on the bandwagon and saying we're going to throw all of our legal resources and stuff. And go take your legal resources and your money and your power and your clout and go into the communities that voted you into power and go help them solve gangsterism, crime, and drugs, please. You don't have any business about clout and podcasts and the internet. Our politicians nowadays are jumping onto social media now. They're influencers and politicians at the same time. What's going on with you? So you're mad.
Statements are not enough, online statements, because the things are said on the podcast, and I feel it's important to also render an apology on the podcast as well. So what we did today, we just made sure that everyone who was a part of that video is here to formally apologize, you know. And guys, I want to make something very, very clear as well. I had to write this down, this apology, to respect the moments and make no mistakes. So you'll forgive me. I have to read this from my phone.
Okay.
So yeah. An episode of Open Chats podcast, episode 128 to be more specific, has gone viral for all the wrong reasons. With this episode 131, we here at Open Chats Podcast wish to unconditionally and unreservedly apologize for the hurt and the harm we caused to the colored community and to South Africa at large, and we take accountability for our utterances. Our statements in the episode were racist, sexist, unfortunate, irresponsible, reckless, and un-African. Our statements have caused so much outrage and offense, not only in the colored community of South Africa, but to all South Africans, irrespective of race, color, or creed. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to apologize on behalf of the entire crew of the Open Chats podcast. We recognize that the success of this podcast and all affiliated podcasts is as a result of the right to freedom of expression we enjoy and benefit from. However, we recognize and now understand that we cannot exercise this right in such a manner that we unfairly discriminate against others based on their race, and we cannot strip anyone of their dignity through reckless utterances. Episode 128 of the Open Chats podcast has been removed from all our platforms, and we regret that it still continues to be decimated by people not associated with our platform, therefore causing further outrage and pain. We therefore ask that we stop causing further hate and request that no other person shares it any further. Beyond this apology and the removal of the offensive episode from all our platforms, we at Open Chats Podcast wish to demonstrate our remorse through further action. We commit to educating ourselves on the human rights, race relations, and racism at a reputable institute of higher education, so we understand these rights and never infringe the rights of others again. We at Open Chats Podcast also wish to invite any South African political parties, particularly those who have publicly stated their dissatisfaction with us, to discuss matters around human rights, race relations, and racism in an Open Chats podcast to be recorded in due course. We intended on approaching the South African Human Rights Commission as a further measure to demonstrate our remorse. However, due to the outrage of our utterances, many interested parties approached the South African Human Rights Commission and rightfully exercised their legal rights and constitutional rights and lodged complaints with the institution. Our legal team are liaising with the South African Human Rights Commission and aggrieved parties to reach a resolution soon. We remain committed to comply with any directive by the South African Human Rights Commission. We are disappointed with ourselves and the blatant disregard we showed when talking about a vulnerable group of people. We remain remorseful and request for the forgiveness of the colored community of South Africa and all South Africans, irrespective of race, color, or creed. Any further communications regarding this matter can be sent to our legal representatives for further processing and attention.
Yeah.
We're really, really sorry.
Yeah, bro, to the color community and all the viewers, man, I also would like to express our sincerest apologies for myself and on behalf of the team as well. And Open Chats, we are truly sorry for the damage that we've caused. And yeah.